The Bengals and the Chiefs, they too are in the playoffs, which leads us to one of the greatest quarterback matchups of the weekend. It's the greatest quarterback matchup of the weekend. Actually, Burrow-Mahomes is one of the greatest head-to-head quarterback duels that we have seen in a long time. And this is going to be not the third, but the fourth time we've seen it. Get this. The Bengals are the favorite in the Chiefs' house. You can see the numbers right here. This is how Burrow has performed against Patrick Mahomes, which is why the Bengals are getting so much respect. But with respect to the Bengals comes disrespect to the Chiefs. Shady, you won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. I don't know how many people on national television can say that, so we are privileged to have your insight. Is Patrick Mahomes being disrespected as an underdog?
Absolutely. We talking about Patrick Mahomes, the young GOAT.
Young GOAT.
The young OG. That's what we talking about.
Yes, sir.
MVP, League MVP.
Yep.
Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
Super Bowl champion.
Yep.
All-Pro.
Yep.
Can I keep going?
Keep going.
Andy Reid.
Yep.
Travis Kelce.
Yep.
Thank you. No, but on serious note, it's disrespectful just because, like, he's our heir of Tom Brady. He's the guy. And I get it. Joe Burrow is playing lights out. Joe Burrow is becoming that Peyton Manning to Tom Brady.
True.
But there still is Tom Brady, and that's who Patrick Mahomes is. Now, if you want to call him an underdog, maybe because he's hurt, no injury, I get it. High ankle sprain, it's tough. But this is a different type of dude. He wasn't in no brace. He wasn't in no boot. Most of the times when you have a high ankle sprain, you're in the boot. Not Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is different. Quick story. When I got there, when we won a championship in 19, just playing with him, seeing how good he was, that was one thing. But seeing the competitive nature, when they talked about all the other quarterbacks, this is when he was just coming on as being Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
And they had Brady in front of them. They had Aaron Rodgers. And we were all talking, me, Tyreek Hill, him, all the other guys, like in the training room, just, messing around, having a good time. He said, I'm QB1. When I heard that and I seen it, I'm QB1. People see Patrick Mahomes on TV. He's a nice guy. He's a team guy. He's all them things. He's a competitor. And to see this type of disrespect, making him an underdog, he's going to be prepared. And listen, I think they might win this game.
Shady, I don't know that they're being disrespected. High key, you could argue the Chiefs are being given too much credit in context of this matchup. That's where I'm at. Clear your throat. You're going to need to again when you hear what I got to say. The Bengals have beat the Chiefs 3 consecutive times.
Okay.
Joe Burrow has never lost to Patrick Mahomes. The Bengals are healthier. The Bengals are hotter. The Bengals are coming off a better win. Obviously, the Bengals dominated the Bills in Buffalo. The Chiefs thankfully found a way to win against Jacksonville with Patrick Mahomes being hobbled. So the hotter team is the Bengals. The team that has the advantage as it pertains to that head-to-head matchup is the Bengals. The team that is coming off of a better win is the Bengals. And the Bengals are not at all intimidated by Arrowhead. We've seen it time and time again.
Right.
So, in all honesty, the only reason the Chiefs are being given a chance is because they are the Chiefs. Like, if you look at all the other empirical data, or if you lose your eyeballs, I know you love using them eyeballs. If you use the eyeball test, everything says Bengals should win this game.
That's where you lose me. You talking about the eyeball test? Look what Patrick Mahomes has been doing for the last 3-4 years. I get it. Joe Burrow has had some good games against Patrick Mahomes. That's cool.
Yes, sir.
But in a bigger moment, in a big game, when the lights are bright, opposite what Dallas does in the bright lights.
Yep.
You telling me who else would you take than Patrick Mahomes in the bright light? You would take Joe Burrow? Think about that for a second. Go over that side of the table and talk to them. That's a good question.
Let me come to the side of the table. Joy, let me come to you first. Obviously, Dave, I anticipate your response. You've been following Joe Burrow for half a decade now. But Joy Taylor, lead it off. Is Mahomes being disrespected as an underdog?
Yeah, I think so. But I think this is more telling about the concerns for Patrick Mahomes' injury than disrespecting the Chiefs. This is the real evenly matched matchup this weekend. Like, both of these games are really tight, and we have a great
two great games,
championship weekends.
Two good games.
But all those things you just mentioned are true. It's still Patrick Mahomes. It's still the number 1 seed in the AFC. It's still Andy Reid. It's still the league MVP.
Come on.
So to me, it's just, this is telling me about Vegas's concerns for Patrick Mahomes being healthy in this game and how much that matters to this team and beating Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not all that healthy. They just didn't get taken advantage of last week in the way that they should have been. So I don't know. To me, this is more about Patrick Mahomes' injury than it is about really disrespecting the Chiefs, because it was going to be an evenly matched game anyway because of the fact that Cincinnati has beaten them 3 times with Joe Burrow. but it's the number 1 seed in the AFC. It's at home. Arrowhead is not an easy place to play, even if Cincinnati isn't scared. And you do have Andy Reid. So I think this is about Patrick Mahomes' injury.
I think the answer to this question can be found by just inversing the problem. Like, what if the Chiefs? What if the Chiefs were favored? What if the Chiefs were a 3 or 4? We'll even say, because home field advantage worth 4 or 3. We'll say like 3 to 5 point favorites. What does it say about the Bengals if they can't get the respect for continually beating these guys? Like, if you're Joe Burrow, and in this, we'll put on our caps and say Joe Burrow is getting disrespected, because let's not kid ourselves. If that was the case, we would be doing a segment about that too. We would be. So Joe Burrow saying, I beat this guy in the regular season this year.
Talk about it.
I beat him at Arrowhead Stadium last year.
Talk about it.
The Peyton Manning Tom Brady analogy sounds great until you realize Peyton Manning couldn't get past Tom Brady. Joe Burrow already has. He's done it. He's actually done it 3 times, once on this stage in this very building. I got all the respect in the world for Patrick Mahomes. I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl before the season. This isn't about the Chiefs. It's about what the Bengals have done and what Joe Burrow has shown us. He deserves to be favored, especially, and I think the injury is part of it as well. The injury is a huge part of it. If Patrick Mahomes is healthy, I think it's much closer to even. But with what the Bengals have done, with what Joe Burrow has shown us, and what they've already done against the Chiefs, again, like we don't have to imagine this.
At all.
It happened this year and last year.
Yep.
In this game, in this building. So I think Joe Burrow, it's not about disrespecting Patrick Mahomes. It's, for me, more about Joe Burrow has earned the respect. And guess what? The Chiefs, to Shady's point, I bet Patrick Mahomes probably feels some type of way about it. So go retake that mantle. Show everybody who you are. Win this game. They should. They're more than capable of doing it.
Shady, if you were to face a team 3 straight times and take an L to them 3 straight times, in the back of your mind, I know you're one of the most confident athletes I ever played with. In the back of your mind, is there any concern? I won't call it doubt, but clearly, you hear the pregame speech. Hey, we got these guys. Hey, this is our time. This is our moment. But they got y'all too. Yeah. In the back of your mind, is there any doubt if you're Patrick Mahomes or the Chiefs?
See, that's the thing. It's Patrick Mahomes. They say he's going to be the MVP this year, right? I'm the MVP. You think I'm worried? Yes. Is there a beast on the sides quarterback? Joe Burrow? Yes. He has some good weapons, for sure. Solid defense? Yes, absolutely. But I'm Patrick Mahomes. I know what I can do. The world know what I can do. There's no doubt. You think Travis Kelce is doubting the Chiefs, his teammates, Andy Reid? Come on, no. Listen, they have beat him. But this is a different game right here, right? Can you do it again? Can you do it again? And this is the last part real quick. It's so hard to beat a team 3 times. So I give him a lot of credit for that. Yep. It's so hard to beat them 4 times.
See, that is one thing that I take issue with is like Bengals or can you do it again, Bengals? It's like Chiefs. Can you do it? Can you do it one time? Like, how many times did the Bengals have to do this before we assume it's not a fluke?
I do think yes, I think that's the part. Like, I think we can move past the part of the conversation where it's a fluke. If you beat someone 3 times, it's not a fluke. That's 3 times.
Right.
And particularly in this game last year at the highest stakes in Kansas City, which, as you know, is not the easiest place to play. I think that's really what would shake me up a little bit is Kansas City and Arrowhead is notorious for being a difficult place to play. You think Kansas City Chiefs fans are reading that and thinking anything other than we're about to make this place impossible the whole day. Now, how much is that a factor if you've already done it? Maybe, but it's still, you did it before, it's still loud again. So I think it's less about doubting yourself, and I think it's more about when you know you're going up against the best, you have to bring your best. And psychologically, when you know you're not going up against the best, you know you're going to bring your best, but maybe you don't have to be perfect. Everyone has to be perfect in this game, and that's just a different energy.
I loved watching the game on the sidelines. They were calling it Burrowhead. I don't know if y'all saw that.
That's gangster. I like that.
They were calling it Burrowhead in part because Arrowhead is kind of like a condo for the Bengals. They don't own it, but they just go rent it out from time to time.
Here and there.
They go do their business in that little condominium, and then they go back home to their house. But when they in their condo, they do what they want to do. They get the dubs they want to get, and they keep it pushing. Shady, coming back to you. You played in Buffalo for maybe 5 years or 4 years. You played in KC. Joe Burrow just went to Buffalo and dimed them out. I mean, the first 2 drives of the game, he didn't care. There was weather, there was noise, there was all the things. It didn't matter. Buffalo, KC, what is a harder place to play? Are they equally hard? You played in them both several games.
Yeah, they're both loud. I'll probably say Kansas City is louder, but I don't think that's a factor. Normally it is, but certain quarterbacks, it don't matter. Joe Burrow showed me that. Like, the way he was dicing dudes up in Buffalo, I don't think the crowd will get to him at all.
What might get to him, if not the crowd, if not the moment, or do you just think it's going to be good on good?
So I didn't watch the last couple of games that they beat them. I went to watch the playoff game when they beat the Chiefs. And if you really watch that game, the Chiefs was whooping up on them. The first half, it was
First half was nasty. It was nasty.
And I think that in the second half, they got too greedy. They got too greedy. Instead of Patrick Mahomes, taking the gimmies, he didn't do that. I can't see him playing that bad in the second half again, right? And let's just be honest. Joe Burrow played well by scrambling, getting out of sacks. Because they had him sacked like 3-4 times. He got out of it, made a play. I just don't see if you had to rewind it all over again, I don't see it happen like that. I can't see the Chiefs losing this game. Only thing might affect this game, having that talent of Tyreek Hill. This where it might come back to bite you. Right? Because everyone on the outside is like, cool, they're okay guys. But then there's nothing like having like a Travis Kelce and a Travis Kelce, as in Tyreek Hill. You see what I'm saying? That's where it might be a factor, I think, in this game.
This is an incredibly fascinating game between great quarterbacks.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.